Michelangelo Signorile joins me now. He's a Sirius XM radio host and editor-at-large at Huffington Post Gay Voices. Welcome.
Hi,
Thanks
Carol.
for being here.
Thank you.
So, Madonna's brother has weighed in. His name is Michael... Wait a minute. Let me get my quote here. Okay, Madonna's brother weighed in. I'm going to have to read it off the prompter because I lost my quote. On Friday, he wrote the following on Facebook, and Madonna's brother is gay, as you know. He said, once again, the gay community feels the need to be sore winners. Is it so difficult to allow this woman her religion, or must we destroy her in order for her to betray her faith? No matter how we judge, it's truth. The rights we have fought for mean nothing if we deny her hers. Does he have a point?
Well, I think he doesn't have an understanding of American law and the rule of law and the separation of church and state. This woman, Kim Davis, is a public servant, and she took an oath to serve the Constitution. And the Supreme Court regularly interprets the Constitution and has said that gay and lesbian people have the right to marry. She has the power to walk out of that jail right now. The judge said that as long as she allowed her deputies to give out the licenses, she doesn't have to sign a license, but she doesn't even want to give them the power to do that. So she's being very unreasonable. She could walk out right now.
I asked the governor of Kentucky to give all clerks the exemption if they want it based on their religious beliefs.
Well, she's the county clerk, the head of the office, and she still has to have her name on the license. And in North Carolina, they've done that, and a lot of civil libertarians are very concerned about it, exempting the deputy clerks. But ultimately, the actual clerk of the office has to have their name on it. They're an elected official, and they have to uphold the government's rules and orders.
So what would be so wrong if they changed the law that, you know, it wasn't required to have the head clerk on the marriage license? Would that be okay? Would that be a compromise?
I don't know that they could do that. I don't know how it works constitutionally, but I think once you start with exemptions, where does it end? If she decided she didn't want to serve or marry a Jewish couple or give them a license, or a couple she knew had premarital sex because it goes against her religion, do we allow that exemption? Where do we end? Where do we say, okay, we're just accommodating you? She can have another job. She doesn't have to be a government official if it conflicts with her religious faith. Well,
Chris Christie actually did suggest that you know, the governor could say, hey, Miss Davis, you can have this job instead of being the county clerk. Mike Huckabee, it's a whole different story, right? He wants her to be reinstated. He wants her to have her religious liberty, and he's going to jail to demonstrate his support of her. So just your feelings on a presidential candidate visiting Kim Davis in jail.
Well, I think I certainly knew that this issue and what happened here would galvanize a certain base of the Republican Party, and Republican candidates would feel they had to champion her. And we've seen some, though not all. I think conservatives are very split on this. Some of them supporting her, but I think it's going to backfire in a general election, because I think the American people, not only we know the majority support equality, but definitely support the rule of law. This story is no longer about marriage or religious liberty. It's about the rule of law.
I don't know. A part of me says this is like the last gasp, right? They're fighting. It's the last gasp. Because even if you look at evangelical voters, they're really supporting Donald Trump, who's not making such a big deal of Kim Davis.
Right. I think it's kind of a George Wallace moment where a certain group is galvanized with him against integration, but ultimately, and against civil rights, but ultimately equality won out.
Yeah. And I should mention that Kim Davis is a Democrat. Did you know?
Yes.
She is a Democrat. Thanks, Michelangelo, for stopping by. I appreciate it.